Let's talk about dual enrollment classes for homeschooled high school students. Hi, I'm Mary Wilson, homeschooling mom for 16 years, and I often get asked about our experience with dual enrollment classes. Two of my children are successfully graduated from our homeschool. They are now in college. They both completed dual enrollment classes. And I have two more students at home, both in high school now, and one is actively in dual enrollment classes, and the other one plans to be in a year or two. All right, so first let's talk about what is dual enrollment. Dual enrollment basically means that your child can take a class at the local college for college credit that also can count on your homeschool transcript for high school credit. Those are the basics. To find out how dual enrollment works in your city, state, local area, you can simply do a Google search. I would recommend looking up dual enrollment and then following that with the name of your city, your state. You can even put the name of the community college or local college that you're looking to take classes. Google's going to give you tons of information. You can then click on the college, the program, and see how it works in your area. You want to look for things like what age can your child start? What are the requirements to be accepted into the program? They're probably going to want a transcript. You might have to provide some sort of testing scores, or take one of their placement tests there at the college. Though where I live in Raleigh, North Carolina, testing scores are no longer required. If you are a junior, you can just simply submit your transcript. Then, after you have seen what it takes to apply for the program, you're going to want to look up what sort of classes your child can take through the dual enrollment classes. It's not always every class that is offered at the community college. Oftentimes, there are a specific set of classes that your child is given access to as a high school student. Here in Raleigh, North Carolina, kids can either choose a college transfer track, which is core academic classes that they can then use to transfer to a four-year college, or they can choose a career track. And there they have things like graphic design and business classes, welding, construction, things that lead directly into a trade. So then here we can pick two things. So either just the transfer track and one career track, or two career tracks. And it allows then the students a list of classes for that track or that career that they can choose from. So of course, once you've done a little bit of research and kind of figured out what is out there, or had your student do a little bit of research, then you can begin to decide what classes are going to best fit your homeschool child. And of course, the big conversation you want to have is a conversation about their goals. Do they think they would like to transfer to a four-year university? Is that their next step when they graduate high school? And if not, are they ready to close the door on that option and simply go forward with a career track? They might not want to close the door and do a little combination of both. So it's important to sit down and discuss what options they want to keep open, or what are the things they definitely know that they want to do. The way we handled it in our house has been different for each child. My oldest child knew she wanted to transfer to a four-year college. So she picked an associate of sciences, I believe, and that gave her a list of classes she could take that were all the core academics that would just knock off some time for her once she transferred. She did successfully transfer to one of the state schools here. All of her classes transferred with her. She will actually graduate a year early in May. Though I should add, she actually continued to take classes that first summer at our local community college and transfer them in. It's a very easy process and saved us a lot of money. My second child was not interested in going to college at all. No college. So we approached it a little differently. She did choose the Associate of Fine Arts that was a college transfer track because it allowed her to take an art class. And I really encouraged her just to try something fun, just to see what it was like. And that class, it was just a fine arts class, opened up the door to her realizing that college was not going to be like high school, that she was going to be able to take classes in her field that were her interests. And she ended up choosing classes in the art, graphic design, and marketing career track, and is actually currently completing that. So that kind of got her started. And then she began to add to it in the graphic design career. So it was very easy for her when she graduated high school to simply continue at the community college to finish that associate's in that career. My third child, my son, who is currently taking dual enrollment classes, loves academics, loves math and science, and wants to be a computer engineer or go into computer science. So we approached it a little differently with him. Right now, he is in an Associate's of Science because that offered the class he needed pre-calc. And he also picked a career track in game development, game simulation, and design because it allowed him to take a class to explore his hobby a little bit to see if that's something he might want to pursue further. The second semester, he continued with the mathematics, but went ahead and decided he wasn't going to spend any more time in the career classes because we looked into it and they would not transfer to the university he was interested in attending. So he decided just to pick up another core academic class and take Psychology 150, which will transfer to the university. So he's going to continue looking ahead at some of the colleges he wants to transfer to and selecting courses that will transfer and knock out some of that freshman year requirement, hopefully saving him at least a semester, if not a full year at college when he transfers. Overall, for my kids, it has been a very good experience. One thing you will want to consider is if you want your children, and if they want, to take classes online or if they would prefer to take them in person. I have always encouraged my kids to at least take a few classes in person. Kind of gives them that college feel of freedom, that experience of being on campus, interacting with the professor right there, face to face, exploring the college library. My first child, she would meet friends in the library. There's always food trucks there. They could grab lunch. And it just continued to foster that independence and preparing them for life at a four-year university where they were going to be wandering the campus and making use of the computer labs and the tutoring centers, the writing centers, and all of those kinds of things. And interacting with the college professors, which was an excellent thing for them to start to get comfortable with through some in-person classes. We have also used online classes. So my kids have done a combination, but we do try to keep at least some in person to keep them on the campus and experiencing that. My son this year, his math class is in person. I am a big fan of math classes being in person. Just a personal preference to have that professor there to answer questions. And then his psychology class is actually a hybrid. He meets once a week on campus, but they have they have all their other assignments online. So it was a nice combination of both so that he still has interaction in the classroom and with the professor. But you're going to want to talk through those options as well and do the ones that best suit your children, your family's learning style, your child's learning style, and your family's kind of setup and goals. I will also say this, a lot of homeschooling parents who are homeschooling high school are so worried about preparing your kids for college. And our experience has been that my kids have all been very well prepared, as different as they were. And I want to tell you, college professors vary just as much as middle and high school teachers. Both of my kids in psychology this semester, all of their tests are open book. They could take notes, they could bring their notes, and it's open note tests. And then you also have professors that are extremely strict and do things with no leniency at all. One site that we have found really helpful is ratemyprofessor.com. so that we look up before they select their classes. We look up all the professors and kind of see what the talk is about them. Don't get me wrong. One kid ranting in a really bad review of a professor is not going to deter us, but you can get an overall feeling from the kids who have typed their thoughts out about their experience in the class, of if it was an easy A, or if it was a professor that was really helpful in answering your questions, or if it was someone that doesn't seem to care about the kids learning the material at all. All right, I hope that is helpful as you're looking into the dual enrollment option. Let me know if you have any questions. You can leave them in the comments and I would be happy to answer them. And go ahead and hit subscribe. Stick around for more.